All right, 6:01, we'll start the October 28th regular meeting of the Kennedale Economic Development Corporation. I'll tell you what, would you do a roll call for me then?
Yes, sir. Place 1, Tyson Eubanks. Place 2, Marcel Terry. Place 3, Kenneth Michaels.
Here.
Place 4, Byron Ray. Place 5, Dustin Verona. Place 6, Mark Yearley.
Here.
Place 7, Dave Glover.
Present.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. All right. Item 2A, swearing in of our new EDC board member, Ryan Ray. Please stand up.
Okay, sorry for the delay. We do have one new EDC member, and if I could get the re-elected EDC members as well to stand up, we can swear everybody in at the same time. Kenneth? All right. And I would like to note, place 1, Tyson Eubanks was unable to make it this evening, but we will get him sworn in at another time. So there are 2 different oaths that we're going to do. So if everyone would please raise their right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of an EDC member of the City of Kennedale of the State of Texas, and I will do my best in my abilities to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States, of the State of Texas, and the Charter and ordinances of this city. So help me God. Okay, thank you. The next oath we will do is the appointed official statement. So repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or valuable thing, or promised any public office as or employment as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation thereof. So help me God. Congratulations. I will get your forms to you.
Come on up, Ryan. Item B, CP2.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
see, I'll start with this. So tonight, I'm mostly going to talk about our business retention and expansion tools that we've added to that program. In business, you know, and I'm sure I've experienced that keeping a current customer is much more cost efficient than gaining a new customer. In fact, a lot of the sources say it costs 10 times as much to get a new customer as it does to just retain a current one. And that applies to cities also. And cities and economic development organizations are understanding that more and more. If you look at how EDO budgets have been spent in the last 20 years, which I know sounds like a long time, but change is slow. In the last 20 years, EDOs have doubled and sometimes more than doubled the percentage of their budget that goes to business retention and expansion. It doesn't sound as exciting as business attraction, but from an efficiency and cost standpoint, it's critical. And EDOs are seeing that. And the EDC has done a lot of work in strengthening your BRE program in the last year. We've had a lot of meetings, partnered with the EDC to put on the Business Connection Luncheon, our first Business Connection Luncheon at the end of last summer, and we're working on doing a second installment of that first quarter of next year, focusing on our smallest businesses this time. And last time I was here, I showed you a draft of our first Business Retention and Expansion newsletter. Anybody get that? Y'all were all on the list. Anybody see it? Went to your EDC email? Kenneth saw it? Okay, I can't stay till we're totally done, but I need to get with you guys and figure out how to get the right email for you on the list. I will show you what it looked like, I think. How do I show that? I've got it up on the screen. Thank you. So you're not going to be able to read this from there, but that's okay. I'll find the right email address for you and get it to you. But so this is going to be the first in a regular series of Business Connection newsletters. And this is important for a couple of reasons. One, it gets us regularly in front of our businesses. And we want to stay in front of them because it helps us in a large way build connection and relationships. That helps us to celebrate their wins. It helps us to know about problems that they may be having while we can still help in some ways or point them to help in some ways. It helps us know about workforce problems that we can resource them for if they want to expand and how we can be a part of that. It helps us know about things like succession planning. That's a big problem where often businesses don't consider what that looks like until they're really close to needing to retire or sell, and their options are more narrow than they would have been if they discussed it sooner. So this is one way another way that allows us to build a relationship with our businesses and help them celebrate their successes and help us resource them early on. Also, of course, we're using it to provide some really specific resources. So this one, like I said, you're not going to be able to read it, but here we're discussing the new development that y'all have been working on for a very long time, but that isn't visible yet. And so just keeping them up to date on what's going on in Kennedale, the exciting new things that are coming. And then here we're resourcing them. This is about free local business mentoring from experts in their fields, telling them what it looks like and how to get it, including some upcoming small business workshops. This is one on using AI tools for your business and smart bookkeeping. We've got some events in here. There was a ribbon cutting at the Learning Experience a couple of weeks ago. Great turnout. It was a great event. I haven't used a mouse in a long time, bear with me. And then a chamber event that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Oh, my graphic here didn't work. We've got a section in this one on workforce. We're giving them some stats about what the workforce trends are in the DFW economy as a whole and what that means for small businesses, along with connecting them to workforce solutions in Tarrant County, which can help them with some of the effects of the labor market that they might be seeing. And we actually connect them here to our specific rep at Workforce Solutions in Tarrant County. And then we ended this one with information about how to get regular updates about the lane closures and construction updates that are going on here. So we're already working on next quarter's probably newsletter and content for that. I just got back last week from the premier economic development conference in the nation and have some great resources that I didn't even know existed for small businesses before this week. And so I'll be excited to include some of those that are most relevant to our businesses. And now, the thing that y'all have been waiting for longer than I wanted you to wait for, but the new EDC website. We're about 95% done, so you're going to see some things on here that will look a little bit different when we get here. But, so on the Kennedale website, the Kennedale City website, there's a page for the Economic Development Corporation, and that's wonderful, and will stay there. And it has some really necessary specific information, but it's a list. And what we want, and what we're able to do with this, is a standalone website that sets a perception of what it's like to do business in Kennedale. Not just lists, although this is jam-packed with actionable information, both for site selectors and for current businesses. But this website gives all the information, but it sells Kennedale. When we're looking at both talking to current businesses and attracting new ones, the three things that they're most interested in are how will locating here or expanding here affect them from a speed standpoint, speed to market, speed to opening, start pulling in money, speed, risk, how can we help lower their risk, and cost, how can we help with cost? And so you'll see that we're not going to go through this line by line, but you'll see that every piece of this site speaks to speed, risk, or cost, and how locating in and working within Kennedale helps with those bottom line items. And our focus here is obviously we're in the Metroplex and have all those resources, but at a fraction of the cost. Yeah, you definitely can't read that, but our selling points here, our differentiators here are some of the things we're talking about as the access to a million strong labor shed. So that's 1 million workers within a 30-minute drive of Kennedale. And then, of course, our prime location at the intersection of all of these interstates. Now, those two selling points are regional. There are lots of small cities in DFW who raise their hand and say that fits us, but the cost of land in Kennedale is significantly lower than in nearby cities. And so that helps differentiate us when companies are already looking in this area. If you look closely, you'll see this map is not of Kennedale. We're still a day away from that, but the Kennedale map will be in this style. And here again, we're talking about our substantially lower land costs, a ready workforce, and how close we are to the cultural center and sports capitals of North Texas. And then here, our call to action is going to be to send them to the other pages. So there is a magnitude of information packed into these, but we've kept it at 3 pages. We've kept it very succinct so that it's very easy to come and find exactly what you're looking for and not have to scroll too much. I promise this won't be Latin. I'm working with 3 different local businesses for testimonials about why they like doing business in Kennedale and how it helps their bottom lines. So soon you'll see local businesses giving testimonials throughout the site. Okay. So that's the homepage, and then you'll see we have 2 more pages, one for site selectors and one for businesses. Those are our 2 main audiences. And here you see we're selling the same great things about Kennedale. Here we're talking mostly to people who aren't local to Kennedale about how accessible we are to the rest of the market, the nationwide market, the global market, in terms that they all usually speak in. And then we've got some demographics here, education. This will be a link to a property list that we don't update. It will be automatically updated by realtors and sellers who are listing their properties, so it's easy for site selectors to find available properties in Kennedale. And then here we have links to all of the relevant maps and specific information about Kennedale. And I really like this section. So this is for the planning department. And again, this is information, most of which is on the city site, but it's not all in one place and easy to find like this. And so you'll see drop downs here whether you're looking to locate here or expand. I know you can't read those. But this is information about, hey, if you're looking to come into town, let's get together before you spend money on plans or research, and let's sit down with the development team here at the city and have everybody at the table and have a conversation about exactly what you're wanting to do, so we can connect you with the right people and speed up and make efficient your expansion or your coming here. We have information here about permits, signage, inspections, all of those details. And then a form at the bottom to request a meeting, to talk with someone, the right person at the city, about exactly what you want to do and how to do it efficiently. And then the last page is the resources for our current businesses. So here we've got a selection of resources. These are not resources that Kennedale or that the EDC is providing, but outside resources that we want to connect our businesses to, like Workforce Solutions, mentoring, the Small Business Development Center. And then we'll have a list here of grants and incentives, and this isn't just the Kennedale Property Improvement Grant. This is incentives from the state level, from the county level, and from the federal level. And there are some other organizations that give grants outside of the government. So that is our succinct but chock full of information new website. Like I said, we've got about 5% left to go on the details, but I'm really excited about this. This is branding and selling of Kennedale and what it looks like to do business here. And it says we're serious about making sure that your experience here in Kennedale is good and fast and efficient. Does anybody have any questions about the site before I move on to Hometown Christmas? Nope. Okay.
What about the demographics?
So there's some demographics on the home page, and we've put most of them where the site selectors go. I'm really struggling with this mouse, sorry. So we have, yeah, you can't read that from there, but we have specific demographics there along with a link where they can pull up all those details, all those reports with household income, median age, that sort of thing. And we can provide whatever demographics, we can add whatever demographics there that we think are important. So that's flexible.
So I think at some point we discussed taking the traffic data that we gain from the parkway and including that.
Yes, that'd be a great spot for that.
Okay.
And we can also add that where we're talking about how quickly you can get to where you need to be.
And just kind of looking ahead to, we've talked about this, I think Chelsea, you mentioned this before, around keeping it current because it can get stale, if the content doesn't change very often. I'm guessing y'all are working out a plan for that as well.
Yes, so this is designed to be as evergreen as possible. We don't want to intentionally put things in that we know that we aren't necessary to have to update all the time, but this is set up with a back end that doesn't require a programmer to change. So it's the sort of thing where I, or really anybody, can go in with the access and make not design changes, but add things, take things away, change demographics, that sort of thing. So yes, it's built with efficiency in mind to keep it up.
Can I ask, how is the contact us form? How is that managed?
So that's a detail we haven't gotten to yet. Some of these are set to go to, it depends on which contact form it is. Some of them are sent to go to the staff member who's heading development. That's probably most of them, but those are all editable. We get to decide where those go, and they don't all have to go to the same place.
Thank you.
Okay, the last thing on my list for tonight is to talk briefly about Hometown Christmas sponsors. There we go. You can see some of that. And Daryl just handed me a better update. I was going to tell you there are 9 companies on here. Some of these are new in the last couple of weeks. I think, Daryl, is this right, that we're at 28.5? So we're at 28.5 now, and then we're still in talks with 2 local businesses who have expressed interest in donating or sponsoring Hometown Christmas, but that I don't have on here because they're not confirmed. Quick Roofing, I think, is new to sponsoring a Kennedale event. Have they sponsored before?
They have, but not with the hometown.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, so that's, we've been working a lot on these. We've still got some outreach to do and some follow-up to do, so we hope to see this number continue to climb before the event. Thank you. Any other questions for me?
Not about the website, but you had mentioned about business retention. And I was wondering how many businesses were planning to leave, or if they were planning to leave, or why was there a need to retain them? If there was and there are reasons for wanting to leave other than lack of foot traffic or whatever.
None that we have spoken to in Kennedale this year, that need, but it's a common need that we just want to stay on top of.
Were there quite a few businesses or just?
Well, that we've had personal conversations with about, at that level, there's only been maybe a dozen so far, and they haven't expressed that. We've met a lot of the businesses, but haven't gotten down to that level of detail with all of them yet.
Okay.
But certainly wouldn't keep that information to ourselves if we did.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, now item 3, regular session, reports and announcements. Financial report from John Horton.
Thank you. I'll be quick this evening. Was doing some comparison, at the same point last year. And to back up, the main reason this is marked draft, we haven't closed the fiscal year yet, and we won't have our final sales tax number for another couple months. So this will be in draft form until that time when we get our final sales tax and we're able to close this out. Our sales tax revenues year to date, we're at 85% to total budget. This time last year, we're at 98%. I'm still expecting us to hit 100% of sales tax revenue to budget once we get those final 2 months in. Our rental fees for the shopping center are at 99.3, so essentially complete. And these and the next 2 are updated from the council packet. Just for the 2 council members here and anybody who was paying attention last week. But our EDC operations at 72% of total budget, and the town shopping center expenditures at 28.1%. Those numbers may increase slightly as some invoices come in for items that were completed in September, for example, that we're just getting invoiced for now. So I'm not expecting a significant increase, but those might move a little bit. Our fund balance here to date, just under 2.5 million. That's 744 days of total budgeted expenditures. This time last year, we were at 478 days. Are there any questions?
I'll ask one quick question, Dr. Horton. For the EDC Town Shopping Center expenditures, they're only at 28%, so pretty low for this time of year. Is that the pool of money for the remodel of the old Dollar General as well? And is that why it's underspent at the moment?
There's really 3 reasons. Okay. The first of which, well, it's really all tied to one, our building maintenance. We spent a lot less on building maintenance than we had budgeted. Now that will climb up a little bit. I just saw an invoice come in for building maintenance, but the bulk of the town center, the shopping center, is that maintenance. We just, without a tenant, you don't have to maintain as much, but we are getting kicked pretty hard whenever we do the renovation. The renovation's in the 26 budget, not the 25.
Any more questions? Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Item 2, Executive Director update.
Yeah, we'll start with the town center updates, mainly dealing with the Building 1 of the EDC property in Town Center. Obviously, the old Dollar General, we're under renovations for that now. We did come back, we had some samples completed for asbestos, and it did come back positive. A little over 90% of the building is infected, I guess you can say, or contaminated. So we had to start that process. That roughly is cost us about $75,000 in addition to what we were budgeted. It is within my range of being able to make that happen. With that, we had a contingency plan in there for $75,000, so we have been able to go in and utilize some of that funding as well. With that, with the contingency fund, it has taken out the ceiling, just about anything you could see, we're having to take out. So if there's any sheetrock, the ceiling, the lighting, anything that had it touched, it's got to come out. So the $75,000 that we had in contingency funds, we'll probably have to utilize that funding to replace the ceiling. Some of the sheetrock, even some of the exterior has, evidently they put some type of sealant before they painted, and it's whatever that sealant is what's caused the contamination. So that's what's hurting us. We're still moving forward with the remodel. YMCA, we had the anticipation of opening January the 1st or January the 2nd timeframe. That has now been pushed back to February the 1st because of this. But as of right now, I think we're still on par to get it completed and move forward with it. Craig Hughes Development also is the managing company that manages the town center. He will also be the one that's helping maintain the contract with the YMCA building, the remodel, and it's going very well. So hopefully February the 1st, we don't have any more mishaps. It seems like that pretty much cleared everything out. So that's my plan anyway. Also, this last council meeting, last month, you gave me permission to move forward on purchasing 811 West Kennedale Parkway. The city council did approve that purchase. It is now this EDC's property at 811 West Kennedale Parkway. The city will start the cleanup process of the property, get it mowed, get it trimmed up, get all the debris, trash, things of that nature. We'll get it all cleaned up and we'll get it looking nice. Also, just as a heads up on 600 West Kennedale East Kennedale Parkway, we had a 380 agreement with Adelaide Pennington. Monday night, we did a BOA meeting to allow or have a variance for a drive-through for that property. Mr. Pennington does have a letter of intent to bring a restaurant in for that property. So he has been cleared to be able to move forward with that and start the planning concept of the building. I anticipate we'll probably see some dirt movement probably sometime in January, February timeframe. This looks pretty promising.
City Manager, for the renovation of the town center, I know I think we've exhausted what contingency we originally had in that renovation budget. And going back to the finance update from Director Horton, with the town center shopping expenditures under budget, is there an opportunity to move funds out of that budget if we need to, if something else comes up? We find another pocket of asbestos or something else that kind of jumps up.
Yeah, I think we're okay on the budget side of it. We do have some room for some more bad news if it happens. At this point, I can't really see anything because it's pretty much,
knock on wood, but
it is literally pretty much stripped the whole building, including the plumbing, you name it, it's come out.
If I may just add something real quick, we're thinking about two concepts. We mentioned like the budget itself, but then the EDC has its own cash balance, and that cash balance has been increasing every year. So as far as having funding available, yes, there will be funding available. That'll be up to the discretion of this board and the council if the time comes to do a budget amendment to make that available to spend. But there will be plenty available if we need it.
John, right off the top of your head, so we're indicating we have so many days in reserve. Once we make the renovations and it's complete, we move forward, what would our reserve be at that point?
I don't know offhand. I'd have to have the budget in front of me.
Okay. We'll still have, if we're coming in obviously at 2.5 million in cash value, obviously we're spending roughly 800,000. So we're still doing well.
I would say our cash balance would still be at 2 million at the end of the fiscal year once the budget cycles out, because we budgeted to lose a little bit this year, but we should still be over 2 million with our budgeted expenditures for 26, just in a cash balance.
And some of the hit you're seeing also, Mr. Glover, is we don't have rent coming in, our lease. So we haven't had any lease money in 5 months, roughly. So that's some of the decrease you're having as well. Obviously, once we get it renovated and we're getting back into the building, that lease agreement will fill that gap.
Okay. Disappointed to hear, because I know it was important for the YMCA to be open on January 1st, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right. There you go.
So is that 75 grand just for the asbestos, or does that include taking out all the piping as well as you just mentioned?
Well, the 75,000, it is for them to come in and remove and clean the renovation,
asbestos.
all of it.
All of it, okay.
Bag it, put the remediation up there and they clean it, vacuum everything, all the dust particles out.
That's correct. Yeah. With the 75,000, it also, within the estimate of the renovation, some of it was to remove some of that anyway. So the 75,000, roughly it drops down to a little under 50,000. Because was also, they're having to demolish some stuff as well, right? Demolition was going to take place. So it's somewhat even, I don't want to say it evened out. It's still pushing us at 50,000 over budget.
Yeah.
To begin with, but we do have the contingency fund in there, which is going to allow us to come in and actually put a better ceiling. It'll be a drop ceiling. I have LED lighting. Ultimately, it's going to make the facility better. Fortunately or unfortunately, it definitely will be something we'll be able to be proud of, no matter who goes in.
Okay, worst case scenario, what would be your estimate of anything going over that 50,000? I mean, I know you don't know offhand, but.
The only thing that I can see at this point, we'll have to put a fire alarm in there. So the building's not sprinkled, and at this point, it doesn't have to be sprinkled. We'll have to have it sprinkled or a fire alarm. The fire alarm obviously is much
Okay, now, does that fire alarm also includes a sprinkler as well?
No, it's just the fire alarm.
Two
So you have to have one or the other. So we'll be able to come in with a fire alarm to put it in there. Some of our engineering has wavered back and forth. So we came down to, we're just going to put a fire alarm in. That cost has not come up yet, so I don't know if we're talking a couple of thousand or we're talking 50,000.
Right.
I really don't know, but I don't anticipate it being that high. But that might be something I bring back, just depending on the cost.
And one last thing, what about security? Door locks or automatic locks and cameras, whatever?
Yes. YMCA will be coming in and putting a camera system.
Oh, okay, okay, it's not at our expense there.
No,
Okay.
it is not.
Anything on any updates on Hometown Christmas to add?
Yeah, let me add on our sponsors that we have. All of our sponsors that you saw are very involved in our community, extremely involved, and they've put a lot of effort into this hometown Christmas. Most of them, as you can tell, either have had some type of grant opportunity with us or a 380 agreement. There's some type of agreement that they have had with the EDC or the city as a whole. So they're giving back to their community, and they're very proud to be a sponsor of it. We'll see them all here on Hometown Christmas, and it's a true honor to be able to work with them on a daily basis, and they want to be a part of it, and that's the good thing. So if you see any of them, please reach out and let them know that you're thankful for their help and generosity.
All right, thank you. All right, item B, consent agenda, September EDC minutes. Do we need a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor of approving the consent agenda? Unanimous. Let's see, we have no items for individual consideration or discussion at the present time. We have no executive session material. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Go home.